In the Hamilton area, Hackleburg, this is not Marion County, Alabama, Marion County, Tennessee, Franklin County, Tennessee, Jackson County, Alabama. We've got a lot of showers here, southern end of Lynchburg, Moore County. There is no severe weather occurring in Fayetteville or in Huntsville or Decatur now, none in Coleman, none to the southwest that we immediately have to be concerned about. But this one storm, and once this is passed, here in about another 12 minutes, maybe 11 and a half minutes, we'll be able to go back to regular programming if we are able to do so, and there are no warnings between now and then. We'll have a complete weather update coming up on WHNT News 19 at noon. We'll also continue to do the live stream. So there's some of the latest things that we know, and it looks like we've had a number of damage reports across north and central Alabama. And Michelle, if you would kind of go through some of these, I'll let you kind of take over from the news perspective.
All right, thanks very much, Jason. So here's what we know at this hour. There is damage in Madison and Limestone counties, significant damage that we have reported. We do have crews en route immediately to check out those scenes and bring us back reports that we can then pass on to you at home. 300,000 customers are without power at this time throughout the area. 30,000, excuse me, let me correct that. 13,000 plus in Limestone County alone. So we're going to certainly be watching that situation. Tornado watch is still in effect until 3 o'clock p.m. for the area. Of course, WHNT News 19, as I said, we have multiple crews out in the field. We're going to be covering this situation. A few more details to share as well from Athens City. 13,653 people in Limestone County without power, as I mentioned. 3 substations are out. At Canebrake subdivision, that's just off Lindsay Lane, the gas is off in that area, and crews are working on 2 gas leaks. Athens firefighters are going house to house at this time. They have discovered a few minor injuries in the area. We had some reports of damage over near Buckhorn High School as well. I believe there are no injuries reported at this time in that area, but we do have our crews fanning out all across the Tennessee Valley to bring in the very latest information. We do encourage you to share your damage photos. If there is damage where you live, share the information with us. If you can post a photo to Facebook or send it through Twitter, we certainly would appreciate that. We can share that with our viewers and help keep them informed. Many of you have also asked about this storm system as it will progress throughout the day. I do want to pose that question to the meteorology team. We have had several people ask on Twitter and on Facebook, is this going to persist throughout the day? That seems to be the main question as the immediate threat seems to be moving out of the area, guys.
Right, Michelle, and that's a great question. And the other big question is, when will it hit my town? So let's get to one, then the other. This is not the end of it. This is just the beginning. We've had 2 supercells that formed out ahead of what could be a significant tornado outbreak that doesn't just start in Alabama and Tennessee. It goes clear back to southeastern Missouri, maybe even as far north as the St. Louis area toward Paducah, Kentucky. So we've got a big weather system to our northwest that is going to kick off a lot of thunderstorms today. And I know that doesn't do a lot for our nerves, but I'll tell you this, severe weather happens in isolated pockets. We've got 2 thunderstorms here that have done significant damage in a heavily populated area in Madison County. You put these 2 storms out in the middle of the Bankhead National Forest, and we probably don't even know they had tornadoes with them yet until someone runs across a highway that has a tree down on it. So that's how it works. If it hits a populated area, then it seems to be a major situation. Sometimes when they just go out through the woods or out through the pasture and never hit anything, we may not know a tornado actually happened. So that's how severe weather works. We can't tell hours in advance if a particular storm is going to affect a particular town. So that's why we have warnings. The tornado warnings that were issued, we give you about 25, sometimes as much as 50 minutes to an hour worth of warning out ahead of it. The watch is in place to let you know that more storms are likely throughout the day, and we'll likely be under a tornado watch here in the Tennessee Valley. I would imagine up until maybe 8 or 9 o'clock tonight at the earliest, possibly as late as midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning until a strong cold front can move through. Now, as long as we still have a tornado warning in progress for Jackson County, we're going to stay on the air, which that warning is set to expire at 11 o'clock, so that's another 7.5 minutes. So what we'll do here is continue to focus on this spot here in northern Jackson County. Let's just kind of zoom in really tight here and look at it. It doesn't look as impressive as it did earlier. It seems like these storms, as they have moved across Franklin County, Tennessee, may have moved into some slightly more stable environment. It looks like we may have potentially here two areas of concern, one that's on the very tail end here, and then that area which doesn't seem to have quite the same rotation, that's near the crossroads, very close to the Marion, Tennessee, Franklin, Tennessee line, and just a little bit north of the Jackson County, Alabama line. So Anderson to Jericho to Bass to High Top, you still need to be in a safe place. The actual thunderstorm itself is not even over High Top, but the circulating part still could be very close, especially if we get some back building along with that, which may end up being what's happening. So Sherwood, the crossroads, you get over here to Marion County, Tennessee, Smithtown, South Pittsburgh, Richard City. Those are areas that are in line for this possible tornado. And again, we have a tornado watch that is in effect until 3 o'clock today. The reason it's only in effect until 3 is I believe the Storm Prediction Center will most likely reissue one that is much longer lasting than until 3 p.m. today. So tornado warning still in effect in Jackson County. I can promise you in Scottsboro, it's fine right now. Stevenson, Bridgeport, I know you have a tornado warning for Jackson County, but we are looking at this extreme northern tip of Jackson County within about 2 miles of the state line, and that storm is rapidly moving out of Jackson County. We're going to stay here till this warning is finished. We will continue streaming online on WHNT.com with additional information within just a few minutes after 11 o'clock. And, of course, Ben Smith will have a complete forecast update on WHNT News 19 at noon. We'll have a wrap-up on what has happened so far in Madison County and a look ahead to what we can expect for the rest of the afternoon. So Franklin County, Tennessee here, Jackson County, Alabama here, and then over here to the northeast, this is Marion County, Tennessee. That is Interstate 24. When this is completely gone from Jackson and Franklin, we will clear the Tennessee Valley of any severe thunderstorm threats for at least 30 minutes to an hour. After that, new storms are likely to form. Parts of Mississippi and Tennessee, we can have a storm at almost any time today. And that's one of the difficult things. Sometimes we're able to give you a nice map that shows that one area it'll be here within 3 or 4 hours, the next area 5 or 6 hours. We can't do that today because of the scattered nature of these storms. I can give you the chance to get out and do some errands within the next hour to hour and a half around a large part of the Tennessee Valley. But this afternoon and this evening, it's time to stay close to the TV, stay close to the computer. We will be streaming the radar here and occasional audio updates throughout the afternoon. We'll come on live every now and then, even when there's not a warning in place, so you can keep the computer volume turned up even if you're at work. We promise we won't be playing commercials or anything like that on the live stream. It's just for radar. It's a public service tool. It's something that we want you to be able to use and not get in trouble at work. So you can turn that audio up, and if something's going on, you can hear one of our voices come on. It could be me, or it could be Ben or Brandon at any moment. We'll give you an update on the timing, on the severity of situations, and when it warrants, we'll be back here on WHNT TV and WHNT2 until we are able to completely clear this threat out of here later tonight. So when it warrants, we'll be on TV. The rest of the time, we are completely staying on the web with the radar, and we'll be giving you updates. But we are here until 11 o'clock. And Ty, are you telling me we're going to stay on until 12 or stay on until 11? Stay until... Okay. All right. Well, we'll work that one way or another. Okay, we may stay here and cover damage. The weather portion of this, the actual warnings, will expire at 11. We may continue covering the damage here in Madison County, and we'll get all that together here for you in just a few moments. But the weather part of this, the warnings will expire here in about 3.5 minutes. The threat is almost completely out of Jackson County, and it's moving out of Franklin County here pretty quickly. There you see the red box. That's the polygon warning. It goes all the way southwest of Jericho, but the storm has since transitioned to the northeast, and that's one reason the Weather Service went to these kinds of warnings. Instead of just blanketing the entire county with a warning, these more specific warnings give us a little bit more guidance to be able to pass along information to particular communities that are in the path, and to be able to tell folks who are not in it in a graphical form here that you're not involved in it. So again, around Scottsboro, this is way up to the north of you, and it's actually moving out of Jackson County and pretty quickly over here toward Marion County, Tennessee. And as we see it, it seems like it may be ramping up a little bit close to that community called the Crossroads, near the county line between Marion and Franklin, Tennessee. It'll be moving on to the northeast quickly and cross places just a little bit north of South Pittsburgh, Smithtown, Kentrell. If you know folks over in that area, you may want to give them a call, give them a text message, send them a tweet or an email, and let them know that a possible tornado that has done damage in North Alabama is moving into their area. Now, this is in the Chattanooga TV area, so we're not going to cover up programming here for counties that can't watch us on television, of course. But what we're going to do here is hold coverage here locally instead of going back to programming because of the significant damage that has been done in Madison County. In 2 minutes, we're going to go over to Michelle Stark at the news desk for.
I tell you what, on Twitter, these pictures keep coming in, and there's several. And just looking at the damage, I mean, we're talking about. Obviously, the surveyors have to go out and see how big these tornadoes were, but just by looking at some of these pictures, we were at least talking an EF2, EF3 across northern Madison County. We've had most likely a long track tornado that started at Harvest, then moved across Meridianville, then we had damage in Newmarket, and now is still getting over to northern Jackson County. As Jason and Brandon were talking about earlier, we're not done yet. There is still a lot of moisture off to the west. There's still the trigger, another frontal boundary moving on in. We talked about the tornado watch for us until 3 o'clock. There's a PDS watch, which is a particularly dangerous situation watch for western Kentucky for this afternoon. And if that storm line or if that frontal boundary is a little bit stronger, that actually could be extended further down into Mississippi and include northwest Alabama. So as Jason and Brandon were talking about earlier, don't be surprised to see that tornado watch be extended into the evening hours as late as 7, 8, maybe 9 o'clock tonight. So again, this may just be round one, unfortunately, and we're going to be with you throughout the entire situation. Brandon, you got anything else?
Yeah, with the last 30 seconds we have here, so it looks like the computer model is indicating another round after this should be forming sometime early in the afternoon, possibly mid to late afternoon. It should be a line of thunderstorms, possibly severe, possibly again tornadic. With what we've seen today with the history of what's happened, confirmed tornadoes doing damage, that kind of ramps up our concern. Is something you need to really be paying attention to. Tornado watch in effect until 3 p.m. You can see that over my shoulder there, but likely another one will be issued that covers the entire Tennessee Valley, if I were to guess, and that runs until later in the evening. Now we're going to toss it over to Michelle.